everyone. This is Suzanne Eaglin, and I'm with my friend Connie Bivens again, and we are here to talk about all things Hallmark. Woo,
Yes, we are.
I'm excited, Connie.
Me too.
So last night was the premiere of 2019 Winterfest, and they did a great job kicking it off.
Absolutely. Absolutely. The first movie, location, everything was great.
I love the location. So the first movie's name was called Winter Castle.
And truly it was a winter castle.
Right, because this movie, well, Winter Castle is an ice castle in Sweden, and every year it's taken down and rebuilt. It's completely made out of snow and ice. And so artists come through and they resculpt all the rooms. Everything is just, it's beautiful. But you have to love the cold.
I'm sorry. That's just not me. You know, I don't like the cold. But I did love the location. I love just the ambiance of it. But you know, I'm a little tickled that you had to Google it. Yeah.
Okay, so let's get into the movie. All right. So here we have Meg and Tony. They're engaged and they're about to get married, and they've decided to go with a destination wedding. And so Meg's sister name is Jen, and that's where we begin. We see Jen in her office. She is a children's book editor. She's just submitted something that she has written to her boss, and the boss loves the idea, right, Connie?
Absolutely. But unfortunately, she doesn't want Jen to write it. She wants her to hand it off because she doesn't really recognize who Jen is.
That's terrible. But we can all relate to doing something great, thinking we're making a difference, or even submitting some ideas to supervisors, and either they take it for themselves or they don't think that we're qualified or ready for that position.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And it's
So
unfortunate because they miss out on some really good talent that way.
absolutely. Okay, so Jen, again, is Meg's sister, and Meg is the one getting married, and she's going to have a destination wedding. And the destination wedding is in Sweden at this ice castle. And I had to Google it, like you said, to find out all the details. It was so remarkable. So when they all get there, so Meg and Jen are outside, and they're ready for their shuttle. They have all their luggage. And the first thing that happens is they leave her veil on the snow because it's in a clear plastic bag. It's white and it's laying on snow.
Well, and let's keep in mind too, as we're sharing, let's remind them that Jen is single and she really does have a dream of being married. She wants to be married. She's got these list of things that she wants to do. And so, you know, her sister, in the back of her mind, Meg has already got her set up for this destination wedding. She wants her to get with the best man, who's Craig.
Ooh, and he is handsome. So the best man is a widow. He has a beautiful little girl. Her name is Sarah. And that's where the story just really gets started. So Jen is in the hotel. She's getting a tour. She's so mesmerized with the greatness of it and the uniqueness of it when she sees the little girl laughing and running and playing, and she looks up, she sees Craig chasing his daughter. And even at that moment, didn't you say that you felt like she had like a spark or something?
That little twinkle in her eye, like she had seen the man.
That's a wonderful thing. And so I like that little part right there.
Yeah, it's, you know, and it's so amazing because, you know, as she's looking at them, you know, it brings a smile on her face. And again, remember, she really had just gone through an incident at her job where they really didn't value her input. And so, you know, just to see that smile come back on her face was priceless. And, you know, it's just amazing how children can do that and how it was instant. So, you know, my question to all of you, do you believe in love at first sight?
I know I believe in love at first sight. And so then the movie continues on where her sister Meg has already let her know that she wanted to set her up with Tony. However,
not with Tony, with Craig.
I'm sorry, with Craig. And so
Girl,
there's a
she ain't gonna give her man away. I can promise you that.
so for all the viewers, you see that we are having a live conversation, just girls chatting, and so get into it. So yes,
Absolutely.
so Craig, Meg's sister, Meg wants to set her up with Craig because he's well, I don't know how long it's been, but he's a widow. He has this beautiful daughter, but she knows him and she likes him and she thinks that they would have a great match together.
Yeah.
And so,
wasn't it funny though that Tony was all into it too? Tony, the groom, he also had it in his mind that that they were going to match this couple up. And then I laughed a little bit too because I think the mother was in on it too. They were going to match her up, So, but it's a wonderful story of how two people have found love, but they also want the same thing for the people they love, and so it's just great how they made an attempt to bring them together.
I do, and that's not only do I have love, but I want to celebrate and love everybody to be happy. So you're right. I definitely felt that in the movie because you see the parents are together. And so, of course, we want everybody to be happy and in love. And so there was a twist, though. The twist was that Craig brought a +1, and her name was Lana. And they didn't know that he was bringing her because Meg had already checked it out. And I remember in the movie, Tony says, you really should have told Meg that you was going to bring somebody because Meg had already sent her fiance to figure out, well, who is she and who are they to each other? Because as you know, when a man goes to a wedding to begin with, it usually means something. So when you bring a guest to a wedding, there was confusion right there. Like, well, who is she? And are they intimate? Are they in an intimate relationship? Are they already closer to where they need to be?
Okay, so let me tell you the messy part was the fact that even though he brought the +1, that did not stop Meg from trying to hook him up with her sister.
You gotta love her.
Yeah, to the point that, she sent her fiance on a reconnaissance, go find out everything you know. Ask the right questions, she said.
Just as families do. Every family and best friend are guilty of that. And that's what I kind of think about Meg and Jen. They're sisters, but they seem like they have such a great, close relationship. And that's pretty cool.
Absolutely. I like that part, So, but and I'll be truthful, I didn't realize until later that Meg was the older sister. I thought part of the rush or the desire to be married by Jen was because she was the older sister and, folks technically think that the older sister ought to get married first. But that wasn't the case either. She was the younger sister. So, and I love the fact that she was excited about her sister getting married. And that was, just a genuine excitement. So yeah, the thought or the fact that they were friends and sisters was really good.
That was extremely cute. So after Jen takes a tour, there is a beautiful ice sleigh. Well, not sleigh, excuse me. It's a slide, an ice slide in the middle of the hotel. And so she has to try it. She goes on, she gets on, she's having the time of her life. And when she ends, she crashes into Craig and Sarah.
Absolutely. And they have to rescue her. They kind of help her up because she hits with a thump. And so they're like, oh my goodness, are you okay? And so just again, almost, if we can say this, almost like fate just keeps throwing her at his feet, literally. So, and so they help her up and she gets all excited about all of these things that she can do while she's at this destination wedding. And she looking at all the little brochures, the ones we walk by when we go to the different amusement parks. Well, they had a whole bunch of them of everything that she can do there. And you'd be a little surprised. One of the things that Hallmark does really good is give you a desire to want to go visit some places.
I know I want to go to this ice hotel, but only for like 2.5 days because it's really, really cold. And the way my body is set up, we do tropical weather better than we do cold weather. But I'm adventurous, just like the character. Jen is very adventurous, and Sarah, the little girl, she's adventurous as well. So when she's looking at all the brochures of all the great things that she can do, one of the things that she says to Craig that, you know, when you say no, that just makes you limited on all the things that you get to do in life. And so that's a great outlook. That's a great way to go about life. So she's the maid of honor and he's the best man. And there they are, little sparks flying in the air, except for the plus one.
Except for Lana, you know.
Lana,
and the funny part about Lana is she wants to get with Craig, but she does not like the cold. I think she's kind of like me, you know. I thought it was cute, you know, the little scene where she's asking for that extra blanket and stuff, and Craig comes out and says, "Is everything okay?" And she's like trying to pretend like, "Yeah, everything's fine." And so he says, "Okay," and he goes back to bed, and she quickly grabs the concierge and tells him, "Bring me 2 blankets, please," you know.
And a heating pad, I think she also requested.
Oh yeah, heating pad. But again, when you look at these 2 women, 2 totally different women. Like you got this adventurous woman, and then you kind of got this, for lack of a better word, this frigid woman who really, she's out to get her man. She's not necessarily enjoying the beauty of the whole destination wedding. And one of the things that I saw different between the 2 is Lana wasn't really being herself, even just from coming to the wedding itself. You know, I don't know that I would have necessarily accepted an invitation to a location like that, especially when I know I don't like to be cold. Whereas Jen, on the other hand, was totally authentic. You know, she was who she was. She, you know, made no apologies for being, having this positive mind and being adventurous and all of that. You know, every chance she got, she really was telling Craig who she was.
So let's talk a little bit about Lana. So Lana sounds like she was friends with Craig and his wife before his wife passed away, and she kind of just stepped in and kind of helped him get through. She also was, you know, really there for the little girl. So she's in this space in his life where they've become dependent on her, and she's been there. But their relationship wasn't clear. I think that she had her own expectations, as we often do. So that's a learning moment, because sometimes when everybody doesn't know your expectation, you're let down, your feelings get hurt. And so I think that she probably did a great job of being a friend to them, but then inside of her heart, she started developing feelings and trying to just really figure out where this relationship would go. But again, a man invites you to a wedding and makes you think that you might be the one.
You know, and there was a piece in the movie that made you feel like they'd had this conversation before, that, you know, about moving the relationship further, you know. And she probably thought the invite to the wedding was the answer to that conversation, because there was another piece where I almost thought he felt almost obligated because she had helped him so to kind of be there. So yeah, just, you know, just some mixed signals out there. But again, you know, just knowing that they had at some point had that conversation, then you turn around and invite her to the wedding. I mean, come on now.
I agree, because I think he was confused and she was as well confused, but she was clear on what she wanted. Yeah. And so then you start seeing the different adventures. So they all kind of do the meet up at the hotel, and then the next morning, now that she realized that Lana's there, Jen has decided, okay, I'm going to go on a ski trip. And so she's going with a group, and I guess it's like an instructor and everybody's following. So she's in this beautiful atmosphere, which I, again, loved. Anybody who likes flocked Christmas trees, the scenery alone is so mesmerizing. It's so amazing. There's beautiful snow on all these trees, and she's taken, I remember her saying, one foot after the other with this ski trip, but this group is leaving her, and she's taking selfies just like we do, distracted, taking all these great opportunities to really capture the moment. And then she realized, oh my goodness, they have left me. She can see them and she yells, but she looks back down and she looks back up, and she don't know where they went.
Absolutely. And you know, it's just amazing how I think her character, even with the selfies, was showing us how to be present in the moment. Not
I love that.
That you miss what's going on around you. And so she was captivated by that beauty, and she wanted a piece of it. And you really can't blame her for that. And to be honest, what kind of leader was that? Go off and leave the girl?
That's a great point, because if it was me and I was at the hotel, I would have an attitude. Like, I could have been left alone. Who knows who was looking for me? So you're right. That's a good point. Not good.
Yeah.
But it doesn't deter me from wanting to go see that hotel firsthand. I won't.
Absolutely. You just had to make sure you got the right leader.
Absolutely.
But I love it because, you know, even though she kind of gets lost, but once again, remember I said she was always falling at the feet of Craig. And so once again, she's out there, she's lost, and starting to think about the lions, the tigers, and bears. Oh my, you know. And at that very moment, guess who walks up?
Craig and his daughter. So they also are skiing. I don't know, and the story doesn't let me know if they're more or is this a routine for them, or was they, I don't think they must have been familiar with it because they weren't a part of the original party. And so they tap her on the shoulder just when she's starting to break down and get a little anxiety, which we've all gotten. You know, you're in a strange environment, you're alone, you don't know what's about to happen. So she kind of is still dealing with her emotions of being concerned about what she thought she was hearing, some type of sound in the background. And little Sarah picks up on that same energy, and she's like, "Oh, Daddy, I'm so scared." And so that's when Jim was able to, oh, wait, let me take it down a couple of notches. Let me be the adult here and calm the little girl down. And that's when she comes up. Now, what song was that she came up with?
You know, I don't even.
Oh, it's the Wizard of Oz.
It's from the Wizard of Oz.
The Wizard of Oz. So she begins to let Sarah understands that, you know, we're all together, we'll get there safely, and let's just have a sing-along. And so she starts singing, Sarah starts singing, and Craig starts singing as well.
And, you know, as we think about it, Suzanne, the thought to sing their way back to camp came from the Wizard of Oz. But remember, I think the song itself was the little girl was in the choir at her school. And so she asked her, "What are y'all singing?" And she told her what they were singing. She said, "Oh, I know that one," you know. And but you know, it again, taking a moment to make the little girl, who she doesn't really even know, feel comfortable. You know, of course, she did make her feel a little afraid, but then she
recovered.
You know, and true to her nature and her desire and her dream, she was a wonderful storyteller.
That's right. And she did everything she could to change the atmosphere, which is a life lesson because we have the power to change the atmosphere at any given second. And so she went from being afraid to being overcoming of her fears and really took charge and they went on their way. They get back to the hotel room. And, you know, now they got to spend time with everyone else. But that was a good little bonding moment for her and Sarah. And Sarah says to her dad when they get back to the hotel, "That was the first time that I've heard you singing since Mom died." And that was a really big monumental moment that he was able to really see that just being in that environment made him happy.
Made a difference, definitely. And also seeing that his daughter was affected by, you know, his behavior after, not saying that it was a bad behavior, but just it made him know that she was concerned about him too. You know, it's natural for the parent to be concerned about the child, but here we see the child is also concerned about the parent. But I liked when, you know, when they got back and everything, it was a great moment that they had, and then an awkward moment because of again, Jen in her mind thinking that he's with Lana. And so, you know, the moments are tender.
That's right.
Trying not to fall into it because she's thinking in her mind that he's with Lana.
He's with Lana. And so then it begins with they come back together. They all end up going outside. There's a part of one of the beautiful scenes in the scenery where they get to look at the northern lights. They get to look at all the beautiful stars, and they're at like some type of campground. And at this point, it's just Jen, Meg, Tony, and the parents.
Yeah.
But Lana and Sarah and Craig were walking. They went ahead and joined. And before we know it, Lana's not feeling good because it's too cold outside for her. So Lana's starting to get sick. The parents say, "Okay, well, why don't we walk with you. It's time for bed anyways. And so when Lana leaves just a little bit further, that's when Meg and Tony also decides that they would leave, given the opportunity for Sarah, Craig, and Jen to have some type of conversation, a little time to get to each other.
It was a setup. I told
It
you,
was
I
a
think
setup.
that mama and daddy was in on it. But you know, like you said, you can't fake it. And so Polo bag, she just wasn't used to that cold. And the mother took that, and you know, mothers will stand up for their kids. Because the mama said, "Oh, let's just walk you on back to you."
I thought that was so cute. And then
Absolutely.
Sarah mentions that her dad, she wasn't able to sleep very well the night before because her dad left the book, so she didn't have any type of story. And that's when we get to see Jen in action. The soon-to-be children's writer begins to on the spot come up with a great story, and she knew exactly what would make Sarah feel like she was sleepy. Do you remember she gave her some milk and honey and nutmeg, and so she tells her this great story. It's captivating, and she's like, "Well, how does it end?" And she said, and she lets her know that it's a to be continued. What I like about that is it's a to be continued, which means that me and you need to be back together tomorrow night. It gives
Uh-huh.
an opportunity, a space for them to have another opportunity. And the little girl falls asleep on Jen. And what happens? Nature takes place, and Craig and Jen are just talking about different things.
About who they are and what they desire. But you know, I said to myself, you know, gave her that stuff. Now he gonna leave and take her to bed. You just ended. You began your moment and you ended your moment. But I thought that was a wonderful scene. How they were sitting outside, and you know, and though it was chilly, you know, they had little blankets and whatnot. And again, here we are with this woman who believes that the man is attached to another woman. She is so respectful. Can I just say that, you know, even though she is definitely attracted to this man, and they just have respected Lana's feelings the whole time. And so, again, this is that moment. And but you know, she goes back to her room. Jen goes back to her room, and she begins writing some more in her story that she's writing about the ice castle. And hoping, you know, she's already stated to Craig, this story might be my big break. And so she's back there and she's writing. But then she comes out, and there's my little favorite scene where she looks up to the stars, and she said, I wish I may, I wish I might, wish upon the star tonight. And I thought to myself, you know, how many nights I did that. That was, you know, that was me. That was my generation. That's what we used to say. And so again, here's Hallmark bringing it on home. My feeling touched by a scene, you know, they could have wrote the latest thing, you know, right there, but they didn't. They pulled from some of our history, and I love that.
And I was so excited about the movie, and in its impression it was given to me. So I was cuddled up in my bed, snugged in my covers. I had my candle burning. I just was so excited about this movie, and making me feel like I too was in a colder environment. It was raining last night, so it's just phenomenal.
So can I say this too, Suzanne? And believe it or not, while we're sitting here talking, this thought really just came to my mind. You know, a lot of times when you have that extra person in the love triangle, there's a moment where they get mad at each other. Did you notice that moment did not come in this movie?
That's
There
true.
was no
That's true.
anger scene where,
Right.
you know, oh no, you got to go do this, or oh no, you got to. Even when he, you know, was obviously confused and conflicted in his feelings and what he should do and what not, there still wasn't that, you know, walk off, go into my room type thing. You know, I really enjoyed that. And I just actually just thought about that when we were just sitting here talking. That's why I love coming to everybody from our homes and just, you know, sharing with them the same thing that you and I would share, even if we weren't on this channel. But can I just say to you all, we love all things Hallmark. We're not just, you know, this is not something we just decided we were going to do. We've been talking about Hallmark with each other for a minute. And so we decided we wanted to share because we know there's others out there that love all things Hallmark. And so we want to invite you to like our channel, subscribe to our channel, tell your friends about this channel, because we want to hear what you think about some of these movies, because there's some great ones coming up. I'm looking forward to the love movies in February. But until then, I'm going to stay very present with the Winterfest, because next week they have a great movie coming up, and it's the Winter Proposal. And some of us saw the beginning of this earlier, but it's almost like a part two. They don't entitle it part two, but it's almost like a part two. They have some great actors and actresses that are going to take part in that. And Suzanne and I are looking forward to sharing that with you when we come back.
So viewers, we're not always going to tell you exactly all the details of the movie, because we want you to go out and we want you to watch the movie and then come back and put some stuff in the comments, what you thought about it, because we do love these Hallmark movies. And we're just really having girl chat about what happened with the movie. And of course, it ends with the right two people being in love with each other at the end of the movie. It was absolutely a great movie. And again, I love the cold and the environment. And it makes you, one of the things they talk about was like things that they wanted to do and go. And so it makes us, the viewers, think, okay, what am I postponing things for? I should go out and travel more as well. So it definitely, I love that about Hallmark movie. It makes me want to be in that scene with them. So I just love it.
So like I said, you know, we've laughed and we've had fun, and we see some very applicable things happening in these movies. But I'm sure before long we'll be crying with you too. So come on, you all join us again. Like our channel, subscribe to our channel, and tell your friends about it. You know, I know y'all out there talking about Hallmark, so why not come talk about it with us?
Talk about it with us. All right, well, we won't keep you any longer. We will see you next weekend when we share the next movie that they have premiering. And I can't wait. How about you, Connie? I can't wait.
I can't wait. So meet us here next week with the Winter Proposal. Have a good evening.
Happy weekend. Bye.
Absolutely.